Olá, meu nome é Erika Evantini, esse é o meu canal do YouTube. Há muito tempo que eu não venho aqui, mas hoje eu tô de volta e hoje eu não vou ler um livro para vocês. Hoje eu vou contar uma história que é um conto que faz parte do folclore alemão e o nome é Shepherd Honest, o pastor honesto. E ele está nesse livro aqui, Catholic Children's Treasure Box, e é um conto muito lindo. But now I'm gonna read it in English and afterwards I'm gonna record it in Portuguese, okay? So, story time. Let's begin. Shepherd Honest. Once there was a shepherd who had never told a lie. He was known as Shepherd Honest throughout the kingdom. At last, even the king heard about him. The king had a flock of sheep, which was his pride and joy. A little white lamb was his special favorite. A little white lamb just like this one here. His name is Rudolph, this one. He's from Austria, but let's pretend he's from Germany, okay? So, let's keep reading. A little white lamb was his special favorite. He would rather have lost his crown than this gentle little creature. When the king heard of Shepherd Honest, he sent for him. I will make you the shepherd of my flock, he said to him. Every day you shall come and give me a report about my sheep. From that day on, Shepherd Honest tended the king's sheep. Every day at noon he went to the palace. There he took off his hat before the king and waited for the same questions, to which he always gave the same answers. Let's look at the shepherd here and the lamb. The lambs are here, okay? So, the king asked, "How are my sheep?" "They are as well as ever, your majesty." "How is my little white lamb?" "It is playful and gentle and beautiful to behold." This happened every day. Now the king had an advisor who was false at heart. When he saw how much the king trusted the honest shepherd, he was afraid. I will lose my influence with the king, he thought, unless I find a way to get rid of Shepherd Honest. So he went to the king. "Your Majesty, I bet my head that Shepherd Honest will tell a lie before this week has passed." The king would not believe him. "I will bet my crown against your head," he answered, "that Shepherd Honest will never lie to me." That night, the false advisor told his wife about the bet, and she laughed. "I know of a way to make the shepherd tell a lie. Just leave it to me, my husband. The king will lose his crown and we will be king and queen." Look at this evil couple here, the king's advisor and his wife. They are not good people. So, the following morning, she dressed in her best finery and rode in a carriage to the place where Shepherd Honest tended his sheep. The poor had never seen a lady so beautiful. He hardly dared to look at her as she spoke. "Dear shepherd, I am in great distress, and only you can save my life. For I must die this very day unless I eat the heart and liver of a little white lamb." The shepherd's heart sank. "Beautiful lady," he answered, "I would gladly give my life to save you, but the little white lamb belongs to the king. What would I tell him if it came to harm?" "Tell him I fell off the cliff. It fell off the cliff and broke its neck." "I cannot tell a lie, dear lady." But the lady wept and pleaded, wept and pleaded until the shepherd could bear it no longer. And, oh no, he killed the white little lamb. When she had eaten its fried heart and liver, the lady rode away. The shepherd's heart was heavy as he walked to the king's palace. Every so often he stopped and rehearsed what he would say, speaking the king's part as well as his own. "How are my sheep?" "They are well as ever." "How is my little white lamb?" "Great grief has come, your majesty. The little lamb fell off a cliff and broke its little white neck." Look at the lady here, well dressed, and asking him to do that awful thing, to kill the little white lamb. So, every time the shepherd said the lie, his heart ached. He walked slower and slower to the palace. When at last he reached the palace, the king and all his court awaited him in the throne room. The king began to speak. "How are my sheep?" "They are well as ever." "And how is my little white lamb?" The shepherd threw himself at the king's feet. "Great grief has come, your majesty. As I was tending the sheep today, there came a lady, fair as an angel, and this she said to me, that she must die this very day unless she get the heart and liver of a little white lamb to eat. Oh, forgive me, O king. I slaughtered the little white lamb." Then the king arose from his throne and lifted the shepherd from the ground. Look here. "And if I have lost my little white lamb," the king said, "I still have a man in my service who has never told me a lie. Indeed, my crown is well protected." The false advisor got what he deserved. Shepherd Honest stayed with the king and advised him in all matters and was held in great honor as long as he lived. So, isn't it a beautiful story about the importance of being honest and not tell lies? Did you like it? So, next time I'm going to tell this story in Portuguese, and if you're interested in reading it, it's inside this book here, Catholic Children's Treasure Box.